my name is Lucy Davis and I'm an online personal trainer and owner of the My Coach School, and today we're going to be going through glute activation and glute activation exercises. Glute activation is, I would say, pretty much absolutely necessary before you dive into a glute session. Now, I'd never recommend for someone just to go straight into a glute workout, go into their hip thrusts and heavy sumo deadlifts without actually activating the glutes. Now, the important thing about this is more so the mind to muscle connection. You have to get yourself ready to work out like you would warm up any other body part. You want to switch on your mind, you want to switch on your glutes. The thing with glute activation, what is really important to note is that you don't want to absolutely annihilate the glutes. That's not the point of it. You just want to get them ready, you want to get them working. You want your mind to know that you're about to train glutes. Our brains are pretty clever. They need switching on sometimes. So with your glute activation and with these specific exercises, you can either use a hip circle band or you can do body weight. It is completely up to you. The point is not to kill yourself off. The point is to just feel the glutes. I would recommend doing 10 minutes max before a session, but personally, if you feel that's too much, do a bit less. If you feel like it's not enough, you can do a little bit more. It's very dependent and it's personal on you. Glute bridges are one of my favourite glute activation exercises. So with a glute bridge, your upper back is on the floor, which is different to a hip thrust where you are lifted via a bench. So what I want you to focus on when doing a glute bridge, and if you have a hip circle band, you can add it on, it's completely up to you. With a glute bridge, what I want you to do is keep your chin tucked. Now, people tend to not do this, which makes their head go back, and when they actually do a glute bridge, they will arch their lower back. So when you're actually doing it, you're not hitting your glutes at all, you're hitting your lower back, which is something we completely want to avoid. So what I want you to do, in terms of your foot position, you want to flare your toes to the side, so you're externally rotating your feet. This just means you're going to hit your glute max, so the big juicy bit of your bum, you're going to hit that a little bit more for me. So what I want you to do is tuck your pelvis under. You can find it just by going anterior, posterior, neutral. Have a little bit of a play around to find that position where there's no gap between your back and the mat. So now your chin's tucked, your feet are in position, your back is flat on the floor. What you're going to do is extend your hips up. So you'll notice I'm not doing this. I'm not arching my back, keeping my chin tucked, and you'll really feel this in your glutes, really slow and controlled. You don't need to rush it. I'd usually aim for 15 to 20 reps when doing glute activation. Glute clams are going to work your glute medius a little bit more. Now this is just your middle glute, and this is smaller than your glute max but bigger than your minimus, and it just sits underneath your glute max. So we are going to be on our side, whatever's most comfortable for you. Would suggest going on a mat because you're going to be resting either on your elbow or on your side. I personally prefer lying on my whole side, it takes a bit of pressure off. What I want you to do is just to bend the leg that is underneath, so the leg that you're on, have your knee in front, have your hip on the floor, and this whole side of your body on the floor for me. And then the leg that is on top is going to be your working leg. Now what I want you to do is actually flop your foot down, so we're internally rotating the foot in. This just means that we are going to hit the glute medius a little bit more. If this is too much for you, that is no problem, just put your foot back forward for me. So all you're going to do, get in a really relaxed, comfortable position, pop your hand on your hip for me, so where your pelvis is, so we're not arching, and you're in a straight line up and down your whole body. Now what I want you to do is just abduct, so lift up that leg until you can feel it in your glute medius, so you can feel it more so in the side of your glute, so this little pocket here. And then you're going to go all the way to the floor and all the way back up. So you really want to focus on getting full range of motion. You can do it with a band, however, I wouldn't really suggest it because it'll be super restrictive and you probably won't get a big enough range. So with a glute clam, obviously you want to work both sides for me, and I'd recommend 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 reps and do it about 2 times per side. Sumo constant tension squats. Now this is a great activation exercise if you also don't have a band. Now what I want you to do with the Sumo stance is just adopt a wide stance. It's as simple as that. I personally do go pretty wide just because I feel it more into my glutes and I can sit back into the movement a lot easier. What you want to do as well is just point your toes out to the side for me slightly, so you're just externally rotating the feet. Like with a lot of glute activation exercises, it is with your foot position as well. What I want you to do in terms of constant tension, so this basically means you're not going all the way down and all the way extending back up. You're staying relatively low into the squat. So with a constant tension, it's a really slow and controlled movement, and you're not bouncing really quick. You're just nice and slowly dropping all the way down, full range of motion, and focus on sitting back into the movement. So don't lean over, have your chest up and sit back into the heels. You might feel like you're gonna fall over, but you won't, I promise you. So envision yourself sitting back, going onto those heels, adopt a nice wide stance for me. Side lying hip raise. Now this movement is a tiny little bit more complex, but it doesn't need to be complex. So all you're going to do is pop yourself onto your elbow, your hip, your knee and your ankle. So it's just these points here that I want you to focus on. Now what you're going to do, you're simply going to pop your hand on your hip, and this is an exercise that you're significantly going to feel in your glute max and also your glute medius. Now what I want you to do, I'll just do a demonstration. You're going to push up, so all that is left on the floor is your elbow, your knee, your foot, and then a little bit of the side of your shin. So all you're going to do is really extend up, and you want to push through with your hips and push through with your pelvis, so you're instantly in a flat position. With the top leg, you really want to get full range of motion and really reach up for me, so these legs actually separate as you extend. So big squeeze up, all the way back down to the floor. Big squeeze up again, keeping everything in line. Making sure as well that you are keeping your core nice and tight. With this exercise, you won't need to be doing 20 reps. That'll completely kill you off before a workout. You want to aim for around 8 to 10, 2 sets per side. Have a go at these glute activation exercises next time you do your glute workout. Make sure you comment below what else you want to see and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel.